What was the reason for this? What is she gonna see like Anakin Force Ghost or something like that? Let me shut up. I keep predicting stuff. Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice and salt to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And in this video that you are about to see, my channel members and I did a live watch party of episode 8 of Ahsoka, Disney Star Wars. So what you are about to see are our reactions post watching whatever the heck this show is supposed to be about. So before we get started, please do your girl a favor. Please do hit that subscribe button, and once you do, make sure that you hit that notification bell so you can be notified when your girl has hot, fresh, and very spicy content for you to enjoy. So with that said, let's finally drag this dead horse out the pasture and put it out of its misery. Lord have mercy. Ugh. Rick, I'm sorry they stuck you with this one. This show was ass. Complete and total waste of freaking time. Okay, so apparently the show isn't Ahsoka. It's called Ahsoka, but its existence is basically to bring back. So, when's the Ezra and Sabine spinoff coming? Again, 0 point. What did Ahsoka learn? What journey did she make? Nothing. Oh goodness, I cannot. I just yes, that's pretty much what they did. And then at the end to, oh, this is what Ahsoka was really looking at. Apparently Sabine couldn't look and see it. Then we see, Anakin in Force Ghost form, which for us normies, we're like, that's some BS because that's not what he looked like in Return of the Jedi. Just saying. I don't know what the hell this is. God, this show is ass. I mean, if you like it, fine, but do not tell me that this is even good television. It's not good television. It's horrible television. And yet again, Disney Star Wars is freaking dumb. Disney Star Wars is dumb. 100 freaking percent dumb. Totally dumb. Oh Lord have mercy. This show was ass. This show was ass. I do not see how. Well, yeah, I do. Because you will have. It's one thing if you like it, that's fine. I'm not telling you not to like it. But what I am going to say is based on this whole series, the technical merit, this is lousy. 100% lousy. Want to see a great character arc? Watch the OT. Exactly. And this goes back to what I'm saying, how the Star Wars normies are, where we know episodes 1 through 6, we know that that whole series of movies was basically Anakin Skywalker's redemption arc. And we got dropped kind of in the middle where we thought that it was about Luke, but then once the prequels happened, like, oh, okay, now we see the whole entire arc that it's really about Anakin and his redemption arc. You see from his beginnings to his fall to the dark side to redeeming himself when he stands up, to the Emperor, basically throws the Emperor down reactor shaft, that should have been the end of him, and sacrificed himself to save his son. We knew that. So why do this? Why? Because the sequel trilogy will not be retconned, y'all. Oh, the plan was never to retcon it. Because to retcon it would mean to admit you effed up. Disney does not admit that they F up. This doesn't happen. D minus. Yeah, I'm so freaking glad I finally got rid of Disney Plus. It was just, I love Hulu. I'll pay for Hulu separately, maybe, but this is horrible. Yeah, Laura, you know they are the people that they're. You got the people out there. I'm not going to name names, but they know who they are. Who are going to say that this is the best thing since sliced bread, and if we don't praise it, we won't get any more Star Wars. Well, after crap like this, I don't want it. No, keep it. Keep it. Besides, it's Disney Star Wars anyway. It's ridiculous. Helena J says, I think they needed Ezra for the new movie coming. This plays into that timeline. The new movie that could be made, possibly not be made, has gone through so many directors, that kind of thing. It's possible. Yeah. Goodness. I mean, I didn't know Mads Mikkelsen had a brother who acted until watching this show. Oh, okay. Okay. It's Finoli's vision, you guys. Yeah, that's what it is. That's 100% what this is. The fights didn't even feel it. No, no, they didn't. Because it's not Star Wars. It's Apocrypha. That's what it is. Laura says this does not meet my Star Wars rating. I would give this a 1 out of 10. I'm not, seriously. If you are going to, your last episode of the quote unquote season should knock it out of the freaking park. And it should end with basically making you say, holy crap, I did not see that coming, and in a good way. It didn't even do that. Jonah Hex says now Anakin will help the women in the trailer park find their true superpowers. Yes, because they fought zombie stormtroopers. Yeah. Zombie stormtroopers. Oh, God. Yes, it is awful. Completely awful. John Sapola says 350 million to make this. Yes, yes. Filoni got 350 million to make this. And zero appeal. I think I was telling someone in another stream down at Disney World. Well, actually, I was at Disney Springs, so I went to the Star Wars Outpost store they had there. There's all this Ahsoka merchandise. No one's touching it. You know what people were touching? The 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi t-shirts and raglan shirts and picking over just like, I gotta have this. I gotta have this. Where's my size? Yeah. That Ahsoka merchandise isn't going anywhere. It's probably gonna wind up in the character warehouse pretty soon. Was that a Mandalorian at the end? Maybe. I think so. I think it was. Robert Wild says this made me want to get drunk. I'm mad I had to watch this without some relaxing fermented beverage in my bloodstream. I mean, this isn't even any good if, let's be honest, weed wouldn't even make this interesting. It's just horrible. Horrible. And yes, I stopped the video on this scene in particular because in the end, this is the true member berry that it was all about. This part. Alan says, the Reina Creole, I'll reimburse you 8 cents for all 8 hours. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I don't mind doing this because people cannot come back at me and say, well, how can you critique it? You didn't watch it. Yeah, I did watch it. And I'm pissed off that I watched it. So I can critique it. Totally. I mean, it's anybody can critique it, let's put it that way. But yeah, I watched this crap, so I know what I'm talking about. So you can't say you didn't watch it, you didn't know that. Whatever. Whatever. Let's see. There's better fights happening between Guess and Disneyland and Magic Kingdom than this show. Helena J said they stared into space in each other's eyes, rescued Ezra. This could have been an email. There were no stakes. No stake. Who died? Space Karen. Morgan, who I actually like. Yeah, why is it she gets stabbed in the chest with a lightsaber and dies? Or we're presuming that she's dead. But Sabine lives. Get the frick out of here. Let the past die, kill it if you have to. The fights look like amateur cosplay at best. They're horrible. They're absolutely horrible. Maybe I'm thinking some stunt people were like, shh, I'm not attaching myself to that. Hell no. Hell no. Big fat zero. Yeah, I would give it a 0, but I did get a shot of a Sith Daddy. And first of all, Ray Stevenson. God rest his soul. I mean, as talented as he is, and this is the last thing that that he was in. I think his character was purposely written to be that weak and inconsequential. And when I say weak, I mean not allowed to truly be who he is or who his character should have been. They couldn't even get Thrawn right. And again, Disney Star Wars has this problem. One of the stark differences between Disney Star Wars and Lucas era Star Wars is that George Lucas was not afraid to write villains to completely be totally villainous. The villainous is supposed, well, the villain is supposed to seem invincible. That is what makes the hero's journey so valid. Morgan didn't look like she was invincible. Thrawn sure as hell didn't even look like he was invincible. And this whole series was about finding him and Lester San Jose says not even canonical. Apocryphal is being kind. Yeah, probably is. I kind of like saying apocrypha. A lot of people say it's not canon. I like saying apocryphal because I just want to be different. Yeah, Thrawn isn't a threat, just like Boba Fett wasn't a threat. I mean, every time you saw Boba Fett, he was in the freaking Bacta tank in his drawers. And the Mandalorian was basically a guest in his own freaking show. None of the male villains are allowed to truly be threats. Jonah Heck says Anakin said he wanted to travel the galaxy, and now he gets to see every little crappy trailer park in the universe. Oh my God. To me, this makes zero sense to see. Seeing Anakin like this is not him at the end of his redemption arc where he's truly redeemed. This is just like, why the frick am I looking at this? Again, normies are like, screw this nonsense. I'm not wasting my time. I'll just go back and watch, Star Wars I remember. Episodes 1 through 6. Forget this. Helena J says, I've had 8-hour PowerPoint presentations less boring. Mm-hmm. I cannot. I thought the book of Boba Fett was bad. I thought that was awful. I mean, Kenobi slightly better because Ewan McGregor was in it. But this show, I, what dirt does Filoni have on people? I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm throwing it out there. Seriously, it costs that much. Yeah, Nuance Observer, it's expensive and doesn't look it. Andor, which I will not be watching. I'm just not. I'm just not interested in it. It's just not for me. I will say that the quality of the episodes, it looks like how much it costs. It just looks good. I can't fault them for that. On a technical basis, I can't. But this, mm-mm. And yes, just in time for Halloween, we have zombie stormtroopers. I'm surprised we didn't see them lining up and doing the Thriller dance, from Michael Jackson's Thriller. Necromancy, really? And the soundtrack that sounds like the Evil Dead. John Sapola says, I watched Space Cowboys during this. Space Cowboys, a Clint Eastwood movie, was better than this. I saw Space Cowboys. I like that movie. I like that movie. And Alan says the end of Empire Strikes Back, learning Vader was Luke's dad. That was a climactic ending. This show, meh. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back, that hadn't the way that movie was structured, it had not been done before. Well, one, that it was a sequel, and two, the way that it ended, you did not see it coming, really. And had everybody talking like they just, and we got to wait 3 years to find out. 3 years, got to read novels, got to read comic books to hold you over until the next movie came out. With this show, there are no stakes. There's nothing that makes you emotionally invested to care what happens. So this was not a yeah. And Alora, that was exactly my point. Why isn't he showing up in his Return of the Jedi robes? Yes. Again, normies will look at this and be like, "Who the hell is this?" This is not what he should look like. Filoni sells alcohol. He should be. He should get hired by Bud Light. Helena J says acid would have helped. for legal reasons, it's a joke. Yes, but we don't condone this. I'm saying. Uh, a little chemical brain altering probably would have made this interesting. I don't know, but it's a good it's a good try. I saw a revamped fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Oh, remastered? I that and here's the other thing, especially with Kenobi, which pissed me off when I heard about it. We didn't need a rematch of the century. We saw the rematch in A New Hope. That was the crux of the whole thing. That was the first time that Vader and Obi-Wan had faced each other since Anakin became Darth Vader. Hmm. Unexpected Fire says, and you guys have such wonderful, wonderful comments here. I forget who said it, but Thrawn is what dumb people think smart people sound like. There's no cadence to his voice. Like example, Grand Moff Tarkin. Okay. He had a very commanding voice. It wasn't very loud, but with his cadence and the way that he spoke, you knew he meant business. And he never said the word please. Get the frick out of here. Nuts. Dylan C says, speaking as someone who has been watching the movies from a normie's perspective, it's like girl here, they notice. Case in point, multiverse of madness is a prime suspect of that. Yes, 100% right. With normies, it's like it needs to translate or trace back to what we know as normie viewers of the movies, of the films. Even normies, like I'm an MCU normie. I mean, I read the X-Men comics, talk about X-Men cartoons, but the MCU, I was a normie with the MCU, and with the Multiverse of Madness, that did not look like anything that I had seen in the MCU. So we were just like, screw this movie. Helena J says, bet Filoni's wife has a dirt video. Kind of like Kathleen Kennedy. She knows where the bodies are buried. She's been kicking in Hollywood a long time. You can't survive that long without knowing quite a few tricks. Reina Creole will watch Andor and or not. No, I'm not watching Andor. Mm-mm. I'm not. I'm not. It's the difference between Andor and this. Andor, I look at it and I'm just like, it's not for me, but the writing actually seems like they care what's going on. It's not for me, and I just tapped out. This bullcrap. The witch stuff is not Star Wars. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, why? I mean, I guess it was in Rebels, but then again, I haven't read Rebel. I haven't watched Rebel, so I don't freaking care. But you haven't introduced it to me to make it make sense. You did not make it make sense. Yeah, I don't either. I don't understand how witches exist in reference of the force. It's like there's the force, you know surrounds us, goes through us, that whole speech that Ben Kenobi, gave. So where the heck do witches come in there with that? Like they can just conjure ish to affect the force that just no. No, Thrawn sounded like, yeah, he did not sound menacing. He sounded kind of like he was as intimidating as Mike Tyson's voice. Not Mike Tyson's physical presence, his voice. His voice did not match his body. And yeah, Writer's room was trash. Some of the comments are getting smushed up in StreamYard, which is completely StreamYard's fault. So if I don't click on it, I mean, I can see it, but I can't click on it, and I can see the thumbs up on it, but for some reason it won't let me. So that's why. Laura says, listen to Mark Thompson for Grand Admiral Thrawn, very intimidating voice. I think he did he do the voice for Darth Plagueis? The Darth Plagueis audiobook? That's the one I gotta go back and I have to finish listening to that one. I love it. I love Darth Plagueis. It's oof, gives me the shivers. I think he did the voice for that one. I've heard his voice in other Star Wars audiobooks, and yes, very good. Very intimidating voice. What was the point of this episode? The point of this episode was to see Ahsoka fight, to see the girls fight, to see the guys take a back seat, um, to show Hayden Christensen as Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker not wearing the robes and not looking like he's supposed to be. Because if they were going to retcon the sequel trilogy, Anakin would have shown up looking like we've seen him in Return of the Jedi. That didn't happen. Yes, they were. All about nothing, just filler, just looking, talking, crossed arms. Again, the Force is female without, and again, the one female that they should have shown, even if it was a projected hologram, should have been Leia, but they didn't do that. Didn't do it. Didn't do it. And John Sepul brings up a very good point. This is what I talk about a lot when it comes to Disney Star Wars. It was more about being in touch with nature, and you have to have a talent for gaining access to it with respect to the Force. Yes. With Disney Star Wars, the Force is a participation trophy, and it was never meant to be that. Granted, I didn't really jive with the whole midichlorian thing, but it made sense when they were talking about Vader. Why some people have more of a talent for using the Force than others. It wasn't something that was given out like, you can use the Force, you can use the Force, you can use the Force. To quote Syndrome in The Incredibles, which is a really good movie, you should watch that. When everyone is super, no one will be. When everyone has access to the Force, it will no longer be special. Alan says, yes, I've said this during other Ahsoka chats on Babylon 5. When some foreshadowing came to pass in later episodes, they had a flashback or somehow otherwise explained what was happening. Can you and your associates arrange that for me, Mr. Morning? And yeah, Babylon 5 was good at it. Picard was good with it. The good shows know when to use flashbacks to show and not tell. And One Piece anime is excellent at this because they care about character development. One Piece, go back and watch the live action One Piece. You need that palate cleanser. Trust me. Go back and watch it. The way that they use the flashbacks to introduce you to who Monkey D. Luffy is and the characters that he runs into and why he does what he does and why he is the way that he is. And you understand that without even watching the anime. The writing is so well with that and with the flashbacks to show you rather than tell. This show, all they do is tell. Makes no, God, makes no freaking sense. Why did Sabine have trouble using the Force? Because she's not Force sensitive. For me as a normie, looking at her outfit, I'm like, she's a Mandalorian, right? One of my first questions was, Sabine's not Force sensitive, right? And folks were like, yeah, she's not. But They made her in this one because the Force is a participation trophy. All right, John Topolis, it's okay. That's all from me. Have a great night, y'all. I hope we do not get another season. I hope not either, but I bet you we got the Acolyte coming up. I don't know. I hope this is the last of it. Disney Star Wars needs to freaking stop. They need to stop. You need to admit you effed up, but that's not going to happen. They're too far into it now. That's right. Everybody gets the Force. You get the Force. You get the Force. You get the Force. It's just in Disney Star Wars, the Force becomes the fake. Yeah, it's not earned. It just gets given to you because you want it. So we're supposed to believe Sabine, who wasn't Force sensitive at all, she couldn't use the Force to move a freaking cup. But later, to the point where she can use the Force to pick up the lightsaber in order to, kill the zombie stormtrooper that was choking her. And again, we've seen that move. We saw it in The Empire Strikes Back when Luke was in the Wampa cave hanging upside down and he heard Ben's voice, right? And they ripped that whole scene off. Couldn't even cloak it, just goodness. Oh God, the flashbacks are lazy writing. So freaking lazy. When everything is beautiful, nothing is beautiful. Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick got some killer movies. I'm telling you, I love him. Helena J says the Force was supposed to be random, not a parting gift from a wedding. I tell you, good writing does not need flashbacks or member berries. I'm going to disagree slightly, John Cipolla. You can have flashbacks, but those flashbacks need to exist for a reason. They can't just be out there, just to be out there and take up space. There needs to be a reason. Like with One Piece, when they do the flashbacks, because they have to, they have to catch people up. Or for example, I'll use another example, Demon Slayer, which I freaking love that anime. They will go into a flashback when one of the demons gets killed and they relive their life and you find out who they were before they became a demon. So that type of exposition gives you insight into who that demon was when they were human. So that's a good way of using a flashback. A flashback should never exist just to take up space. That's a bad way of using it. The live action One Piece is fantastic. Yes, and I thought it was going to suck. I'm so glad that it is not it didn't go the Cowboy Bebop live action. Another thing, you notice the cast wasn't really talking for One Piece. They weren't saying how it was this, it was going to be great, and the outfit was, creeping up my crack and everything, and I'm sorry, I'm not. No, they just went, they did their jobs, they were happy about being in the film, promoted the film, and it showed. And it showed. Laura says, I'm going to listen to D&D Swarm Wars to cleanse myself from this. Girl, I'm going to watch 90 Day Fiance Last Resort to cleanse my mind from all of this. Luke steps up as Grandmaster and Leia becomes a Jedi Knight. Yes, that's what I remember from the few EU books that I read. And of course, Sacrifice, which, girl, I got to get back on your channel. I got to get back on your channel and talk about that. That book made me cry. That book made me cry. Oh my gosh. If Sabine is I guess Force sensitive, how did she pick up the lightsaber? Good question. And why did they almost shot for shot do it exactly like it happened to Luke in The Empire Strikes Back when he was in the Wampa Cave? Helena J says One Piece is amazing, and I know nothing about anime. Highly recommend. Very much. It is wonderful to watch. So, if you want a palate cleanser of how a television show can be done right without you having to depend on watching what came before, watch the One Piece live action. Because when you have digital fish wrap outlets like IGN saying that there's too much fan service, you know it's good. And it is. It is. It respects the lore, respects the the manga and the anime. It does. Yeah, she's a Mandalorian. I am confused. She is not force sensitive. None of this makes sense. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Alan. Yeah. Again, like I said, how can you couldn't use the force to move a freaking cup, but I'm supposed to believe you can pick up a lightsaber. Uh, get out of here. Well, then again, they did the Mary Poppins move. They did. I can't wait to clip that. Oh my gosh. Good night, HC. Glad to see you here. We're going to start wrapping up in a little bit, but you guys have some amazing comments. I love it. One of the reasons I love doing these watch parties is so when people see this review on YouTube, it's not just me, my channel members. We have watched this in real time. So you were getting a very, very timely reaction. It's more than just one person. Dylan C says, I think I have the force now. Did you assume my gender? I'm drink? I can't believe Disney spent millions on this and this is what they came up with. I believe it. Disney is notorious for being expensive, for being bloated, and not having the product to show for it. Their budgets are notoriously bloated. That's why the films can barely make money if they do. Pay attention to what's going on with the Marvels. Yeah, that costs a lot of money. I don't think that's not gonna make it back. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go see that movie in the theater because no one can call me sexist for critiquing it. Re Yes, Reina Creole, we must do a live on that novel. You know what? Get with me, girl. Sometime in November because I want to read it again. In November, December, probably November. Yeah, because I want to read that book again because I just absolutely loved it. I want to experience it again. The same people blew it. Exactly. They did. Disney's budgets are crazy. I mean, case in point, Bloomhouse movies. Okay, Megan, that movie, considering how much money that movie made in the theaters, it cost a pittance to make. That's why it's getting a sequel. It made the cost and the PR budget and then some. Absolutely. Clip away, dear. People are waiting for them clips. I'm glad I did it. I got plenty of clips. And yes, Share Bear, I can't wait for Grizzy shill videos. Props to Grizzy and thanks. He included me in one of the videos is, response like, is there any sane person watching this that can give her, an accurate critique? And then they had the clip of me clowning Ahsoka, swinging lightsabers in space and doing cartwheels and whatnot. So yeah, Grizzy, he's got check his out. The shill responses. Oh my god, I'm tears when I watch it. Okay, my dear, looking forward to it. Let's definitely do that. Helena J. Okay, since I have to be up early, much love, y'all. Well, much love to you, my dear, and so glad you could join us. Glad you could join us. Um, yeah, Dollywood. I need you. I can't wait to do Smoky Mountain Christmas one year. Cannot wait to go to Dollywood, and of course, Epic University is coming. Is coming. All right, folks. Well, this series was one big giant waste of time, but definitely was not a waste of time. Was having the watch parties for these episodes with my channel members. We got to see it together. We got to see it with our own eyes together. You got a live, real time reaction to me watching it. So if someone says, "Oh well, you man babies that don't like it," I'm not a man. I'm not a baby. You just don't like women. No, I don't like these women. There's nothing. If there's the two female characters I like the most, one apparently could die from a lightsaber wound, and the other one just basically went to where the Dollar General Sand people were and lit her lightsaber. And poor Balin, you only saw his back. You know what I'm saying? So that is going to end that. So, folks, if you got some value out of watching this review, please do hit that like button. If you didn't get any value out of it, well, hey, I'm glad you helped out the algorithm and watched this long. So please do me a favor. Please do subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when your girl has hot, fresh content for you to enjoy. So until next time, remember, whale farts power the galaxy.